Welcome to the Trash Cats Trashcast. I'm Richard,
I'm Steven.
and today is our freestyle episode, baby.
Baby.
But first, Steven, how was your week?
My week's been okay, man. I'm all set up over here. I'm ready to record. I got my caffeine mints, my protein shake, my vape, my dip, my multivitamins, and a little demon cat running around.
Yeah, fucking demon cat, man.
I know, dude, she's been great. I'm so happy I got her. But she is a rascal. She's just running around destroying everything she can. It's been a blast, though.
But she's so pretty.
Yeah, those stripes.
She can get away with anything.
Yep. So, man, this week's just been putting job applications out. I got this lady, Bonnie, helping me out. She's a little headhunter, looking for jobs for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Shouts out to Bonnie.
Thanks, Bonnie. We'll see what she does. I'm not sold yet, but she's working for me. And then
Might have to be a new hashtag. Fuck Bonnie.
Hey, we can't say fuck Bonnie yet. We'll see. Time will tell. Been selling these Pokemon cards, hustling them out. I sold a first edition German Venusaur to some dude in Switzerland yesterday. Making some cash and just been working on art and writing, man. It's been good.
Fuck yeah, man.
What about you? What's the latest?
Work, mostly, still. That's always my gig. But I'm still enjoying it.
Yeah.
It doesn't suck. And, we're looking forward into the winter months. Smoothie truck doesn't do too good in Michigan in the winter. So, we're looking at different ideas we can do for that.
Some hot chocolate and donuts you mentioned.
Yeah, man, that would be fucking huge. It would be something we can make and we don't have burners or anything, but we could get an induction burner that would hold shit hot enough for us. And, as far as the donuts go, we get, access to a fucking, what's it called? Commissary kitchen.
Fuck yeah.
Crank shit out and in batches and we'd be fine.
Dude, that's awesome. That was my demon cat making noise. She's legit a terrorist. But dude, that's so cool that you basically, they liked you so much, you created your own job.
Yeah, that's more or less where it kind of came in. And he was kind of open about that at the beginning, and I wasn't really sure how I was going to want to approach that, because there are a bunch of different things that I was considering getting into, after the summer, after this, kind of wore down. And, I could probably get into something else and learn a new skill, and that would be cool, but the money's really good here right now, and the work's really not bad.
Yeah.
I know it's going to pick up really hard over the summer, and it's going to slow down in the winter sometime, and I might not be able to get a full, 40 every week, but, he's kind of pushing that. He's trying to make that a possibility and trying to make that a thing for me. So, let
you do whatever keeps you busy and makes them money, and just kind of let you do your thing.
It's kind of a win-win situation for me where I can get to be creative and also get paid for it.
Dude, that's outstanding.
So that's cool.
Well, you got any honorable mentions before we get into it?
Sure as fuck, I do not.
All right, I'm going to shout out, this is my dude, Brandon Isaac. And we actually went to school with him. And I didn't know him well at all.
Yeah, I feel bad because I super don't remember him.
Yeah.
But I was pretty checked out the last couple years of school anyway, so.
Yeah, we were always, me and him were always chill, but we just didn't cross paths all that much. But, since high school, different art stuff has put us in touch, and he is a rapper that does some really cool, authentic stuff. This track we're going to play as our outro is called Dirty Water. So if you guys listen to it later and want to check him out, his website is thesketchesofhealing.com. He's also a comedian. He does stand-up stuff, but man, his music's fucking dope, man. I fucking love this song. We're gonna play it later.
It's really good. It's like we've mentioned this before. Like, we're both picky about hip hop and shit, so that's that comes as a high compliment.
Yeah, it's super cool too. He's a teacher for Cincinnati Public Schools, and he had one of his young students who wanted to get into music, and he shot a music video for him, and it's actually pretty fucking good too.
Yeah, man.
This kid's name is Don Dada. I may be saying something wrong, but we'll link to his Facebook later on in the post, or Instagram in our post. But super cool stuff. Looking forward to playing that later for sure.
Fuck yeah, man. So what you been thinking about this week? What's your main thoughts on that's been plaguing your mind?
Man, I don't know. I really don't want to get a job.
Heard.
Dude, I really like what I'm doing right now. And I don't know. It sucks. It's obviously no excuse, but like my mental health does absolutely terrible if I'm in a job I hate. And so far, this job hunt experience is, I really think the first job I get in this new career is not going to be what I want to do. Oh,
absolutely not.
No, but
the first one's never going to be it.
Yeah, but I'm not going to give up on it. Just sucks, man. I just want to do shit like this and working on art and writing, creative shit, and not give a fuck about money. But
I'll tell you what, man, we get any bigger here, if we could at one point, if we can make a Patreon where we can at least, pay some bills, not even all of them,
just some. That'd be cool, man.
That would be great.
From our unknown rapper reviews.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
We were talking about that last episode, just going on YouTube and doing like long ass thorough reviews on any random rapper we can find just for fun.
Just hit up random SoundClouds and fucking tear them apart.
Shit, what's been going through your head?
Kind of a lot of the same. It's like I really enjoyed this job because there is so much free time, and like I said, there's other stuff that I was considering getting into, but man, it would take so much work, and I just kind of don't feel like doing it.
Yeah.
Like I was talking about getting into like carpentry or something. And it's like, man, actually, with the kind of time I have right now outside of my work, I could get into it myself. I don't have the tools, but I know people with them, and I can schedule shit to kind of teach myself shit like that. So that could be fun still.
Yeah.
Getting into drawing again. I told you I've been getting ideas together for a potential merch situation.
Yeah, I'm excited for us to figure these out because I think they'll be really fun.
And also I was thinking about, with this, we were just looking at a house earlier today. I know I've mentioned it before, like my mom and I are kind of looking for a duplex situation because it would be so convenient, as opposed to both of us having separate locations from where we're at now. It'd be so much cheaper, and we could put in the time and, make it nice. And then, if worse, I guess best case scenario is, one of us could still move out of it and the other person could rent,
right,
the other apartment, and it would, pay for itself.
Yeah.
So that would be fucking huge, if we could get that together. But, the place we just looked at today has a big enough kitchen that I could like film shit in the kitchen.
Dude, that's awesome. It looked really cool. All the wood was really nice, and
it's old school. It's an older home, but it's got gas burners in it. That's fucking huge.
Yeah.
I've wanted that for a long time. But I've been approached by so many people to do some kind of cooking instructional kind of thing, even if it's like basic prep. I think a huge one is like how to cut up fruits and vegetables, just like basic cuts of like how to do a massive quantity of something at once, like cutting up a watermelon. Everyone usually cuts the whole thing in half and whatever, and then they don't know what to do with the rest of it, kind of thing. They kind of fidget with it and end up cutting themselves or some dumb shit. So like I can make it really easy.
Some basic series.
Yeah, this is how a chef does it. And I know there's some of it out there, but I'll just do it better.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck Jamie Oliver.
Dude, once we get the spot for it, I'm down to record, man.
Fuck yeah, dude. Trash Cat's Kitchen. Trash Cat's Culinary Creations.
Do a P Hill Stew series.
Oh, dude.
The dankest ramen ever.
We'll invite Hood Meals on.
Fuck yeah, man.
Did you watch that fucking video where he brought his fucking air fryer to Bubba Gump?
Dude, I couldn't do that with a straight face. He was so like legit about it too.
It's fucking natural entertainment. He gets paid too.
How
Apparently
so?
I guess he generates revenue through TikTok and shit. I don't know.
Oh, dude, his audience is so big. He makes a full living off of it.
That's huge.
Man,
you know he don't live in that fucking house.
Probably not.
With the broken ass, I mean, it's, probably takes it off the fucking hinges before he records and shit.
That would be I don't know how big his base is now after I said that. I'm not sure.
He's in the millions.
Then yeah, he's making money. He could still live there though.
Maybe.
It's interesting, man. It's like some of these people like are making so much fucking money and other people are like, it's not really working for them. Like there's a couple people I follow that like have a couple 100,000 followers or viewers, and they're like stepping away from their work because they're not able to make enough of a living.
Yeah, that's wild.
It's real weird how it works. The streaming stuff has been very lucrative for people because they can get the live donations.
Yeah, that's pretty big too.
And that seems to work really well.
The fucking Drawfee people, they make some decent money.
Yeah.
All through their Patreon, because they have, especially the two of them that are dating, they have the Patreon income, and then they also stream video games on the side, like 2 days a week, and they fucking make bank doing that.
See, that's the thing is if the community you've cultivated like actually cares about you on a personal level that much, it's like you don't need that many people to support your goals to survive if you have a really good honest following kind of thing.
Right.
So speaking of which, Drawfee, are you working on any creative stuff lately?
Besides the t-shirt design stuff, not really. I was working on some stuff for like D&D shit earlier this week. I'm putting together a new character because mine always die. I just made it back alive in our last session, and
you got 1 health left, right?
Yeah.
Or is that me?
That's you that has 1.
Yeah,
my guy almost bit it. I had to dive through the gelatinous cube to try to save you. I almost died. So that was cool. But so I've been working on that. That's always fun. That feels creative to me.
It definitely is. It's not like necessarily creating your own thing, but it's definitely using all of the same like thought patterns or brain engagement.
I think I might have told you about this character design. I'm doing it's basically going to be a bard that's not a bard.
Okay.
It's going to be a sorcerer, but he just does really shitty basic magic. Like non-attack magic. But yeah, he's going to do like prestidigitation, and I had some other dumb shit that he could do that's like kind of helpful sometimes maybe, but like all of his stats are going to be trash. His charisma is going to be, out through the roof. But I'm basing it on Joe Bluth from Arrested Development.
Oh my god, dude, that's fucking hilarious. His character
fucking useless except for, minor shit.
It's an illusion.
Yeah, it's illusions.
Tricks are for whores.
Yeah.
God, his character is so fucking good, man.
Yeah.
He's a really funny dude too.
Some forget-me-nows.
How did we not mention that on our memory episode?
Yeah, they can forget-me-nows.
Oh my god.
It was like fucking GHB or some shit. It was like,
Yeah, GHB pills. He was in a roofie cycle. He got him.
Yeah.
That's what those Xannies are like, man.
Jesus. I know you've been working on some art this week.
Yeah, I've been trying to. I've kind of had to adjust to a slower pace, but I'm staying slow but steady, which is good. I finished up that piece I was showing you yesterday, and I really liked how that one came out.
Good.
I feel like stuff like that, where it's like more tragic-y, to me, that piece felt darker than something that is like gore based or aggressive. Those like sad, like the implication of violence is stronger than violence. It's that kind of that sort of deal.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how much this is going to show up in the recording, but she's making so much noise.
It's cute though.
You hear the little pitter patter of the paws. I don't even know what she's doing. Like if I gave her catnip or extra food, she just knocks over the whole bowl and then chases the food around everywhere.
Fucking adorable.
Oh shit. Yeah, I've been just staying steady with art. I'd like to be doing more, but I also really enjoy the slow process because I leave my computer going all the time, and I just get on there and do a little bit here and there, like a couple times throughout the day, and I'm managing to get like 1 or 2 pieces done a week, opposed to something like every day or every other day. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of satisfying because I get more time to put into the individual pieces. And then I've also been writing at night, and that just feels good. I don't know if what I'm writing is any good or not, but it feels good.
Yeah, I don't know either until you fucking send me some of it.
I know. So I was going to send people some stuff early, and now I kind of, there's some minor twists involved in the plot, and I don't know if I want anyone to read until they know where it actually goes. You know what I mean?
Oh man, that's how you build suspense.
I know. I'm
cliffhangers, dog.
I got to do so much editing too. Right now, everything's unedited, so I need to like clean up like the first chunk of something and start sending, get some feedback. I got like 10 to 20,000 words.
Now, how's your adjusting to a different schedule? How's that affected your sleep schedule?
My sleep schedule's just crazy, bro. I'm just like it's like 6 a.m. I'm going to bed some nights.
Still, okay, that's fucked.
Yeah. The cat has probably helped a little bit. I think I'm going to bed a little bit earlier because she's wearing me the fuck out. Actually,
they do, man. Especially because you don't have it mingling with the other one yet.
Yeah, no. Hey, if you're cool with it, I think I'm actually gonna put her up real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
I feel like she's making a little too much noise.
Fucking edit point.
Yep, I'll be right back. What are you doing? I thought you were gonna be cool. You are terrible.
So Cat's away.
Cat is away. What? God damn. She's been quiet. She was asleep. As soon as we start recording, she starts making all the fucking noise.
Oh, of course.
Of course.
My cat is now on a sleep schedule that is she's awake all night playing with the little one. Like,
yeah.
He'll be awake for, a few hours, and then he'll go in, my mom's room and fall asleep for like an hour or so. And then he like wants to play again, and like he'll wake her up. There's like a cycle of like she wakes up and then kicks him out of the room because he's fucking around. And then he comes back in and plays with my cat. And so they both just sleep all day long. And most of the time we're not here anyway, so it's like whatever. And they don't wake me up at night, so I'm not really worried about it.
Right. Does your cat like the new cat?
Yes. Yes, she very much does.
That's awesome.
She definitely took a little while to get used to him, and he's got a lot more energy than she does.
Right.
So he wants to play all the time. And she wants to play with him, but she also very quickly gets fucking sick of his shit. And, he'll eventually, because he'll like jump up on her and like like jump around her neck and like put his hands around her neck and shit and like try to tackle her. And he's not big enough to take her down yet. So it's mostly just annoying and an inconvenience for her. And she'll like whop him and fuck around with him. And, you know, they're not like clawing each other or anything, but, you know, she plays pretty nice with him.
Yeah.
But then she gets pissed and she'll fucking hiss at him and growl at him. And, you know, and then he, you know, kind of stumbles off and fucks around with something else instead, or goes lay down or whatever, gives her some room.
But they're chill. They're chill.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They just follow each other around and shit. And we've finally caught them sitting next to each other and like laying down next to each other, like when they're not playing really, and just kind of like looking out the window and whatever. So
that's awesome. Yeah.
We also caught them coming out of my mom's room today when we got home, and so that means they were either laying next to each other or close enough to each other they were sleeping. So,
yeah, I'm actually cat sitting right now for somebody also.
Cool.
Yeah, the cats aren't here. But I'm driving to go take care of somebody's cats right now. So there's like so much cat in my life right now. I am a little short tempered with it, but I love it.
But they're so cute, though.
Oh, they're the best. She's been sleeping with me, which has been cool. But, fuck, man. Have you any good media stuff lately?
No. If anything, I've been listening to a lot less podcasts than I usually do. And I've been listening to music, if anything.
That counts.
It's all like old pop punk shit. Mm-hmm. That's just what kind of fuels me in the morning. Well, actually, I've been rewatching Lost with my mom. That's been good. She's never watched it before, so.
It's a trippy fucking show, man.
It really is. I fucking love it, though.
It's a fun one. That's one of like the only, like, one of the few shows from that time that, like, I totally get why a lot of people would hate it, but it also, like, even if it got awfully absurd at times, it always kept you engaged and questioning. And
yeah,
for me, that I value that highly. So that show, you know, it was a fun watch.
I definitely agree that I can see where it's not everyone's cup of tea, but it's exactly what I'm looking for. I know I've mentioned it before. Lost gave me nightmares because I would binge watch it. I would like damn near come in late for work because I'm like watching it all day, then get home and then binge watch it till, 2-3 o'clock in the morning and then go to sleep. And then I'd have these fucking weird dreams about being on the island and shit, or just weird shit happening. And I know it was all because I was, submerging myself into it.
Right.
But I'm down to do it again. I fucking love that show.
Yeah.
So every time you get an answer, you get fucking 5 more questions.
It's like a Hydra. You just keep lopping off heads and they keep growing back. I was just, I started this documentary last night called The Perfect Weapon. It's on HBO. And it's really good so far. I didn't get a chance to finish it yet, but it's about, are you familiar with the Stuxnet virus?
No.
So that's... like
computer virus?
Yeah, it was like during the whole 2K thing. There, during those years, there were all those huge viruses that there was like the Da Vinci virus, the something worm. Like there were all these big ones, but Stuxnet was the one. It was the first time a computer virus was ever used as like an offensive weapon. So that's this virus was the beginning of the like insert a USB into somebody's computer and hijack it kind of thing.
Oh, sick.
It was kind of the first big ones, right? So the FBI claims to have developed it, but more than likely a hacker developed it and they busted the person or bought it or some shit. But the FBI takes credit for Stuxnet. And
Edison takes credit for the light bulb, but
right. So, when we went to war over the weapons of mass destruction, the nuclear program. I always get it confused. Iraq or Iran was building. Let me look it up. The nuclear. They had nuclear test sites and shit.
I do have to stop you because people are going to roast you for saying nuclear. Nuclear.
I'm never going to say it right either. So I think it was Iran where they were doing tests and we infiltrated their systems with the Stuxnet virus and made it look like their nuclear program was doing really well. But the program actually was making their centrifuges spin up too fast and then too slow. But on their equipment, the readings would be that they were perfect. And over time, this would cause the centrifuges to destroy themselves.
Oh, wow.
And we ended up using that information to help justify the war, basically. So it's a documentary about how we got viruses into these different countries and the effects that they had. And it's very interesting so far.
Cyber warfare.
Yeah. Good old cyber warfare.
I mean, I know it's like not even like a new thing, but it sounds like so futuristic. It sounds like, you know, the next Matrix movie.
Well, dude, so that particular facility was air gapped, which is when there's no internet. So the only way it could have made it into the facility is if like somebody was bribed or forcibly made to like sneak in a USB or some shit and put it into a computer. So now we're finding out that they had the technology 20 years ago, but they have systems now that can beam code wirelessly into computers.
Oh, damn.
And it's something from like 6 miles away. So
fucked up shit.
Yeah, you don't even have to physically be present. And that, like, now they might be able to do this from satellite and shit. So somebody could fucking beam some weird shit on your computer and hijack your plant shit. It's very interesting.
I'm saving that excuse.
Right. The aliens beamed it into my computer.
The aliens.
The aliens.
I didn't make that propaganda picture. I finally deleted that off my computer. It's never going to see the light of day. I feel like I'm probably on a list somewhere. Dude. I made a thing using a terrorist logo, and I switched out the building in it for the. It was the courthouse or the some fucking federal building.
Yeah.
It just made a American version of it. And I realized it looked too good. It looked too much like something you'd see on a MAGA poster or something. It's like
dude, I think we've talked about it a little before, but I'm like, we're both for sure, but I spend a lot of time both researching and in the alt-right and like neo-Nazi world because I hate it so much. And so I spend some time on the boards to see like what the fuck's going on. And for a long time, I've been really tempted to like do the undercover thing because I think it would be so interesting. And then I think I miss the adrenaline of how I used to be. I want to be an undercover Nazi or some shit.
There you go, man. Just start shit.
Dude, I was just watching.
You don't even have to start shit. You'd have to wait for someone else to kind of light the fire, and then you just kind of feed it until they fucking get sent to prison.
That's the thing is, like, a lot of people do that. It's the same with the pedophile world. There's a ton of people that pretend to be children to lure people out. There's a ton of people on these Nazi forums that pretend to want to be involved, and you're definitely putting yourself in a risky position. But there was like the London nail bomb attacks. It was just some dude pretending to be a Nazi that caught the bomber. Like there is a whole network of informers and just like social justice people involved in trying to prevent these groups from reaching their goals.
It's doing God's work.
That's fucking dope, man.
Yeah.
I just saw one. There was a big bust in Australia. And the bust was not nearly as big as they acted like it, but just like the Stuxnet where the FBI was involved, there was also a cell phone that started like 10 years ago, and it was like I think it was a Google Pixel, but it was modified that it wouldn't email or connect to the internet, so it had like an air gap feature, and it all connected to a private satellite that was supposedly run by a criminal. And it turns out the FBI busted some dude and told him for lenient sentencing to say that's what was happening. And dude, there were over 10,000 of these, 10,000 phones that the FBI was creating for criminals, them thinking that it was a private network of communication.
Wow.
And they just raided 800 people this week. And they didn't get as big a buzz out of it as you would think they would, but they did get quite a few things. There were like 25 attempted murder plots, a couple 100 pounds of coke, some human trafficking shit, a ton of weapons. But for as many criminals had these private phones, you would have think they could have got something bigger out of it in a way. But
yeah,
it's a pretty interesting way to be proactive against organized crime.
Yeah.
That said, I'm very pro-crime.
What's wrong with crime?
What's wrong with crime?
You have a little crime as a treat.
Little crime as a treat. You got to do a little bit. You can't be totally straight-laced, right?
You know, you got to jaywalk every now and then.
Not in China.
Just don't fucking litter.
Yeah, littering's really
that pisses
shitty.
me off.
Yeah.
Because it's not like there's not a trash can, you know, fucking everywhere.
I would rather watch somebody commit Grand Theft Auto than litter. I'll say it.
Yeah, no, same. Yep.
Rob your car, burn your house down. I don't care.
As long as
Just
it's not
don't
my
let-
car.
Smokey the Bear is gangster as fuck. Dude, people are...
I was going to say, here's a fan theory. Talk about
shit.
Bigfoot for a second. What if Smokey the Bear was Bigfoot?
Is Bigfoot starting all the fires with his cigarettes?
And then saying, don't start forest fires?
That's his alter ego. He has to make up for all of his wrongdoing, so he feels real bad and does this campaign. Dude, people are shitty with their cigarettes. Their cigarette butts.
Oh, God, yeah.
I never got that. I smoked
That's so much
so long,
of trash on the street and in, you know, fucking landfills and shit is this fucking cigarette butts.
Yeah, and it's like there's no reason it shouldn't be biodegradable, too.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
There's a couple brands that are probably out of business by now, but one in particular was the cigarette butts were biodegradable and had seeds in them. So
that's slick.
You're meant to litter them. I thought that was kind of cool. I don't know how many of those plants grew because they probably grew with cancer.
Yeah.
It's like a mutated like Mario plant.
What's
my
the name
cigarette
of
tree.
the fucking Venus flytraps? There's a name for them. Piranha plants.
Mm-hmm. I wish I had a cigarette tree.
Cigarettes. Grow my own cigarettes.
Be beautiful.
Makes me think all the time. I was talking about I heard somebody say pepperoni earlier this week, and I thought, man, I can't hear the word pepperoni now without thinking of Ricky from Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah.
He's fucking walking down the street one scene. He sees a thing of pepperoni and a pack of smokes on the side of the road. It's like, who leaves perfectly good pepperoni? Pack of smokes on the side of the road. Someone fucking throws a net over him. Like an old cartoon trap. Just so niche and specific for his needs. Just
Oh my god. Dude, like anytime my family will like go on vacation or something, my mom, like, she'd always try to treat us like everybody gets $20, whatever, you know, for the afternoon or whatever. And she'd always call it candy and cigarette money. Because that was the joke. That's obviously what my $20 is going to go to. So now it's been years, but anytime she gives even my little sister money, she's like, she jokingly says candy and cigarette money.
Nice. That's funny.
I think that's brilliant. Just some Skittles and Marlboro Reds.
One of my favorite stories of working in the kitchen was somebody that insisted to come back, and he had to talk to the chef. He just had to do. It was so important. And we were like, you know, we're in the middle of service. Like, can he wait for a little bit? And they're like, yeah, he'll wait. He's got some time. Okay. So, but he finally came back into the kitchen, you know, after all this build up. And he was like, this was the best meal I ever had. You know, this was a fantastic experience. This restaurant's great. You know, you guys are really doing great work. Everyone on our table loved it. You know, I just wanted to make sure I shared some love with you guys. And he had a bill in his hand and he went to shake my chef's hand. And as he slipped it to him, my chef said he saw, you know, a 1 and a 0. And he's like, oh man, these guys give me like $100 bill or something. Like, from what he's doing and how he's acting, like slipping me $100 bill.
Yeah.
And then he, you know, he's like, thanks, you know, I'll share this with my crew. You know, I really do appreciate it. This, you know, this is huge. We really appreciate it. And, the guy left and he looked at the bill. It was $10. He's like, just like, here, kid, go buy a pack of smokes.
That's so cool as fuck, though.
Yeah, it's something, you know. It's like, this was the greatest experience I ever had. Hey, go buy yourself a pack of smokes and a candy bar, kid.
That's the type of thing I would do when I was like nodded the fuck out and was up on cash. That's exactly the kind of dumb shit I would do. Do like an over meaningful gesture and then under deliver.
Yeah.
Best food I ever ate. Here's $6.
I went through, back when I was making, a little bit of money at Joe Bar. I went to, a place. It was at a Taco Bell, and it was really late at night, and, it was like a snowstorm had just started, and, I pulled up and they said, like, we can take your order. We just might be a minute. There's only 2 of us here, you know, and, we got a couple other people that are supposed to be here, but they didn't show up. I was like, hey, I just got off of work. I've been through that situation. That sucks. I'm sorry. You know, you take your time, do your thing. And yeah. I pulled up to the window and, I had money then. So I gave them like a $40 and I was like, here, you guys need this. Like, that sucks. You got to work. And like, it's just going to be, you know, packed down with snow by the time you get out of here. And that's going to suck. Like, I'm sorry, I don't have more to give you. That's probably the most charitable thing, you know, personable, charitable thing I think I've ever done. You know, just to hand somebody that kind of money, like, in person.
$40?
Yeah. $20 a person. That's really not that much, but it's when they're not expecting it, that's huge.
Yeah. It's a super nice, and to a person that can be super meaningful. Like,
yeah. And they were both like, really, you know, like, not, you know, really surprised and like, oh my God, like, thank you. Like, they both came up to the window and like, you know, they had a line of cars behind me and they stopped what they were doing. Like, thank you so much. This is huge.
Yeah, dude, I would get tips, building pools, and, you know, most of the time you don't get anything. So a lot of times you get like $20, but you're also building, you know, a pool somebody spent at least $5 to $10 grand on. Yeah. Whatever. They're above ground pools, so they're not the super expensive. But I mean, sometimes people would tip close to $200, and you're like, you know, when you only make $100 building a pool for 10 hours, dying in the sun, somebody tipping you that much means a fucking lot.
Yeah, that's right on time, man.
Yeah.
You know, and they probably see it that way. It's like, this is a place where I'm going to be spending, you know, a significant amount of time. This is a living space for me.
Yeah. There's a lot of
that's nice,
generous people out there. It's just they're hard to find sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
Not to find, but you don't see people being generous as often as sometimes people are or whatever. But man, I know, like,
crazy good at sit down restaurants, man.
Say that again?
If I have like a server or something, and or I go to a place that has like a tip jar or whatever, I tip crazy good.
Oh, I know you do.
I go broke over that shit.
Dude, that's the thing though. Like if like anytime I'm flush, which is rare, like it feels good to share the love kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's gone so quick. What the fuck is money, man? It's just fun tickets.
What the fuck is money?
Oh yeah, our whole economic system is garbage.
Supply and demand, dog.
That's the thing, though. Is we don't
competition.
It's fake money. It sucks.
Yeah.
It matters so much, though.
Yeah.
Food should be free. Health insurance should be free, and we should all just make art. And nothing get done.
Art and plant gardens.
Yes.
We could have had that.
How
Motherfuckers had to go to war. People had to get religion involved.
Now, here's a mixed thing. Because we're both anti-religion. And I would say generally anti-war. Would you agree with that? Not always, but generally, right?
Mm.
Do you think that... I think there will always be war, though.
I agree. I think that the problem of violence because of religion is absolutely absurd.
Yeah.
It's egregious, and it needs to, it's one of the biggest reasons for war. Even in the US, it's like so much of the moral compass shit that leads to people's reasoning for things is based on religion, rather than like, this is a good thing to do, or that's this is a shitty thing to do because it's a shitty thing to do, rather than, they like, oh, this is a shitty thing, or this isn't the right thing to do because my Bible tells me so. Or, my church group tells me so.
Right. So here's a question.
Yeah.
So what is the, like, lefties in general? I feel like, peace, love, whatever, people want to avoid wars. I generally agree. But where's the fucking line when a war, like, religious reasons are absolute garbage, but when the fuck is a war justifiable?
I would argue that it's justifiable when human rights are being are being, stepped on. But even then it's like, is it...
But should we be policing the globe?
No, that's another thing.
I think
it's hard. That's the tough questions.
I know, because I don't think we should be policing the globe either. But at the same time, we went to war with Germany for very good reasons.
Yeah.
But I will say, we also went way too fucking late. We knew it was happening.
Yeah.
It was like 6 months, a year before we did anything.
I think it's fair to culminate it to, if human rights aren't protected, if, anywhere until it's everywhere kind of thing. It's not, so yes, it's hard to say, should we police the world, but the other, the world should police itself. And that gets hairy with areas where religion is law. And it's like, well, we have to protect this culture or whatever. And it's like, no, you kind of don't, though.
Right.
If you're trying to make progress, you need to be progressive and not stick with this multi-thousand-year-old shit way of thinking.
Well, to that point, I think we should be at war with China.
I don't know enough about the issues to make comments on it.
The Uyghurs stuff is just out of control, man. The one of the craziest, I'm probably going to get the numbers wrong, but one of the most compelling pieces of evidence This was during Trump's presidency. It's probably been 9 to 12 months ago. There was a ship. So when the Uyghurs go to the different camps, the women often have their heads shaved and they'll do hysterectomies, abort babies, and like make sure they can never have kids again, right? They would use the hair for wigs to be sold to different countries to make into wigs, right? Mm-hmm. So during Trump's presidency, and to his credit, he did deny it entry into the country. There was a shipment of 170,000 pounds of human hair being imported into California from China's camps. And the U.S. decided that we weren't going to allow it in. But we also aren't doing anything about where it came from. To me, that is pretty fucking compelling. But
yeah, I also think there's so much that needs to be done here.
Dude, it sucks.
It's hard to say we should focus our efforts elsewhere, knowing that there's a lot of atrocities going on in the world. When there's so much here that I think it's like, get your house situated first, then go help your neighbor. Apply your own mask before helping others.
That's a very good argument. Did you see how many mass shootings we had this weekend?
No, I stopped paying attention to that because it was too many.
Dude, just this last weekend, there were 10 mass shootings, which means at least 4 people had to be shot. We had 10 last weekend. It hardly makes the fucking news. It's fucking wild, man. It sucks, dude. And it sucks because I fucking hate this country. I don't want us to go to fucking war in China. I know we're not going to make all the right decisions. So it's like the world just sucks, and you just have to find a way to navigate it and like mitigate as much bullshit as possible.
That's it. And there's so much of it that's like, you can't be, at least the way that I've found my happiness is you can't be up on every atrocity in the world, because what you're doing to your brain at that point, when you're inputting all of that shit into your head, it's only fucking you up. It's important to be knowledgeable about certain things that matter, of course, but when you bury yourself in it constantly, you need to find some place where you can put it down and find comfort, find an area of rest, at least for a minute, so that you can be a human being.
Yeah. So
that you can be a person. Otherwise, you're doing to yourself what others, are being put through. You're depriving yourself of humanity.
Yeah. I kind of think of myself as half in and half out. I spend a lot of time like researching or keeping up on some things, but to your point, it sometimes is too much. But I also see, I for myself to an extent, and I see in some other people how it can really be used as fuel too.
Yeah. I can see that. Absolutely.
But too much is too much.
I look at myself over the last year, how much time I spent, attached to the news, that I realized there were times when I was just doom scrolling. I was just looking for the next thing bad thing to read about, because I knew it'd be something, and I just got to find it. And then I'd find it, and then I'd like, all right, that sucks. And then I'd go on to the next thing.
Yeah.
And then it's just being able to tell yourself when to take a break and do something that you enjoy, even if it's, a passing moment for something that you can feel like you again, and not like someone that's, trying to find the negative. It's hard and it sucks, but especially when there's, when you become aware that there's so much going on out there that's worth looking into. And it's like, and the other thing I've always had was like, you can't, I know I've mentioned it before, the empathic thing of like, you know, can't, when you're comparing your problems to other people's problems, and it's like, why am I upset with anything in my life when there are people that have it much worse? It's like, you can't do that to yourself. You can't be able to help other people if, you know, if you put yourself in that position where you're comparing your problems to someone else's. Like, yeah, you can do it to a certain degree, but, you know, like, of course, I don't have the same problems that, you know, when we watch the documentary of the people in Nigeria and shit, it's like, I don't have those problems.
Right.
It's like, be thankful for that, you know, that my problems are, you know, much easier, but, and then use that to be like, okay, well, what can you do? What can you try to bring some kind of awareness, or what can you think to even do?
Yeah. And, you know, as misinformed as half the shit I probably say is, that's why I do think there's some value in discussing some of it too.
Oh, yeah. I would never claim to know everything on stuff. And that's the other one, is I've learned to check myself on shit where it's like, I don't know enough to make, you know, passable comments about whatever it is we're talking about. Like, I'll say shit if it's thoughts that I've had and it's things that I've thought about and looked at, but it's like, if I don't have anything to input, then I'm just not gonna.
Yeah. And to that point,
better than spreading something false.
Yeah, like half the shit I say. I consider myself one of the smart stupids. I'm relatively intelligent, but slightly brain damaged, so it's a 50-50.
I mean, I feel that too.
Honestly, I don't mind it. It's okay. You have more fun than all the ways smart, and you make less mistakes than all the ways stupid. It's
like it's balance. I mean, I'm probably smarter than most of this stuff. I mean, that thing's smarter than me, but it's got a battery in it, so that doesn't count.
Dude, all right. Here's a more fun way to go. Let's say Neuralink is working tomorrow. You could have a chip in your brain. There's no downsides, and you have nearly instant access to all the internet in your own mind. Do you do it or not? Not get a chance to wait and see how it goes. It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. You take it or you don't. I know you're.
Why not?
I knew you were going to say that. You crazy bastard.
Yeah.
I'm tempted.
I mean, okay, so realistically, no, I probably wouldn't. But in this hypothetical situation,
I'll install it for you. I'll drill a little hole. We'll
then
super
yeah,
glue it in.
If you're doing it, then if Dr. Professor Steven's going to do the hookup, then
it'll be fine.
I mean, yeah.
It's just a little surgery. What's wrong with a little surgery?
I'm thinking of Steven's. I'm thinking of your soon to be doctor's office, and it's a brick and mortar building, and it just says Dr. Professor Steven across the top of it, and then underneath it, it's just in quotes, "You'll be fine."
You'll be fine. What could go wrong? I kind of thought you would be. I know how you feel about the future technology progress. I could see, given some safety standards or testing having been done, you would want to do it, wouldn't you?
Yeah. That's the thing I'd be scared about at least with the information that you just gave me. With that elevator pitch, is that
you're going to get the trash cast virus broadcasted into your brain, or you're going to turn into a raccoon and eat trash all the time.
The thing that I'd be worried about is losing humanity, is becoming, Spock-like, or not Spock-like, like Data, from fucking Star Trek.
You wouldn't have to doom scroll, depending on what the settings you set.
It would just be there.
You would know. You'd have every stat on every shooting, let's say you do have control over it to an extent. You could filter different settings of what information you want or don't want, but it would be very hard. You can't unknow something. As soon as you decide to look into a different subject matter, you'd know too much. It's the memory thing where we're meant to forget some things because all the details of life would be too painful. Knowing everything that's on the internet are happening all the time, it would be too much.
Dude, that would mean that Two Girls, One Cup would be
playing on loop.
And on a loop. I don't know about that, but
I mean,
it would be available too.
Yeah, man, there'd be.
It sure would.
God, the porn addict stuff would get wild.
Oh man,
if you had a chip in your brain, people go crazy already.
You wouldn't. It wouldn't even have to be a thing about like, oh, they never leave home. It would be like they'd be at work doing it.
Right, or gambling, where your brain is hooked to your bank account and you can gamble anytime, anywhere, on anything on the internet. You're like, I'm going to gamble how fast I make it down these stairs for my lunch break. Like, you could just be like charging your card, doing anything.
I always like the idea about Google Glass for shit like that. Like POV live stream shit, like, this is what it's like to, be a barista. This is what it's like to, even simple shit like that I think would be kind of fun.
Yeah. Well, the VR stuff's getting there, man.
Put that shit on fucking Gordon Ramsay.
Ooh.
Imagine what a week in his work life is like.
They are doing it with certain super high level athletes. To get that VR experience of what it would be like to be a Michael Jordan or whatever. Now, would you do different gender stuff?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Like
I don't understand the question.
It was not very clear. To VR experience what it would be like to be a different gender or a totally different person or something.
Oh, absolutely.
Dude, it would be so cool.
It would be insane. I mean, there's already that video of the girl that's like, that walks around New York, the fucking harassment video where she's walking around New York and just,
It's fucking brutal.
That's a pretty brutal one.
God. I feel like, man, it's just rough. It's fucking rough.
Did you see there's another version of that where she goes out and when they talk to her, she responds to them and like calls them out on shit. And then they like,
it gets worse.
They a lot of the times I'm sure it does in some of them. But a lot of the times they don't even know how to respond when she actually responds to them in the positive way. They lock up.
Oh, I get what you mean. That's interesting.
I'm sure that probably wasn't most of the interactions they had, but that was, there's a compilation of those. I thought that was interesting.
I don't know. That could be most of the time how it goes, because think of the level of insecurity it takes to say something to a random person like that.
Yeah. How fucked in your social abilities you have to be to do that.
Yeah, and like what do you think the percentage of that as a useful tactic?
Yeah, you can't possibly be doing that expecting that you're going to get a positive response.
No way.
So when they do, how the fuck do you react?
Yeah, I'm sure it'd be very disarming. Like, oh shit.
I had somebody today compliment me while I was at work, and I get it every now and then, especially like usually the number one thing is like, oh, I like your nails. And it's like, oh, thanks. I appreciate it.
I grew them myself.
Yeah. I usually say I painted them myself the other night and now I'm fucking them up today. But I had someone say something to me at work today and we were in such a rush. I really didn't have time to stop and talk to her, but, it was something along the lines of, it's something like, oh, I really dig your whole aesthetic. I really dig your whole thing. And I was like, thanks. That's huge. I appreciate that, and, I complimented her earrings or something. It's like, cause though I could see from, my point of view.
Yeah.
And it was like, that threw me off. Like I didn't even say anything first and someone put something positive at me. And I was like, oh shit. Like I don't know what to say to you right now.
Yeah.
I'm number one, I'm in work mode. 2, I don't know you. 3, super not used to this.
Yeah. It always feels super weird. Even when it is good, it's like, especially after the last year, just less human interaction like that
Yeah.
Everything feels a little strange still.
Yeah. And I mean, I've always had issues with like self-confidence about like my image, I guess. Not like my image, but like my appearance.
Yeah.
Weight shit, I don't think I'm ugly,
No.
but like I've always had little issues like that. I think most people do.
Even if they don't admit it, almost
Yeah.
everyone does.
Yeah. And I definitely don't think I have it worse than, a considerable amount of people, but because it's not something that really plagues me, but it's just something I don't usually think of in the positive light.
Yeah.
So getting that's cool.
Yeah, it would be weird to feel super positive about how I look. Or like I feel, I don't know if you feel that way. I think a lot of people would feel weird if they felt super confident about themselves in general.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have like really good days and I'm like, I look fucking good right now.
Yeah, yeah.
But then I get really weird. Like I'm super not about like posting selfies.
No.
Like it feels so weird. Even just taking pictures of myself at all feels weird. But like every picture that someone else takes of me is trash. It's a horrible picture.
You're like, please let me do it. If you're going to do it, let me do it.
Let me do it, please.
Yeah.
Like I have taken fantastic pictures of myself. And I just feel so weird about posting
them. Yeah, dude. Sarah, the day of adopting the cat, and I don't like. Every once in a while, I might ask her not to post something, but I don't care that much. But she also has a bunch of people from my past on her Facebook page that I know see shit, and I'm not on anything as myself or as a personal account.
Yeah.
So I don't always like that, like, a bunch of pictures of me are always going up. You know what I mean? Yeah. But, like, she posted pictures the day we adopted Grisha, my cat. And
those were good pictures.
The first one, it looks like if someone from my past saw it, they would think I was hardcore relapsing. It was just one of those pictures.
I didn't get that at all.
I was half blinking. It looked like I'm just faded out at a cat place. I'm like,
hell
I'm
yeah,
like,
man! Let's fucking get these kitty cats, man.
I was like, could you at least have picked a better cover photo? She's funny. They make her happy though, and it's one of those things. I never would want to take all the pictures, and I definitely would never post them online. But it feels very meaningful to be able to go back and look at too. So I understand it.
90% of the camera roll on my phone is pictures of like my cat or like weird, shit that I've seen. And it's like, oh, I should take a picture of that. That's cool. Or that's funny. And then I mean to, thinking like, oh, I should post this shit. And then I just don't.
Yeah.
If I don't do it in that moment, I just don't.
It's gone.
I'm better about it like when I'm bike riding or something. Cause it's like, I'm usually stopping somewhere to take a break anyways. If I see something cool, I'm just going to take a break in a minute and like I can post it then. I think most of the pictures I have of myself on there are like after stopping at a bike ride or something, on a bike ride or some shit.
Yeah. And they feel good to look at.
Yeah.
This is a kind of a weird one, but I carried a camera with me for like 5 years straight, and that's when I was doing some of the graffiti stuff, the hearts on stuff, whatever. Mm-hmm. But I also would just love to record random shit when I was faded, and then it would be like weird memories coming back later, or like just a random clip at a party or a friend's house, just like out of context. It would just feel strange to re-experience later.
Capture the moment.
Yeah, and I also got in the habit of just recording specific drug use of myself. And then, like, I forgot I did that for a while. And, like, 2 weeks ago, I found one of the videos. And my figured was, like, I never would record anything actually shady that would get me in trouble. Like, if a cop's on my hard drive, I'm already busted. And it was just, like, me by myself, whatever. But it is a very weird thing to re-see something that graphic and intense. That was a huge part of my life that feels very distant or non-important now. It's weird. It's weird how much your brain can shift and change.
Yeah, that's it sounds like it would suck.
How so?
I mean, maybe in a bittersweet way, but to look at that, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure your perspective, I guess, on it, but it would be like, I don't know, maybe like in my head, I feel like it would be like even anytime I look at like old shit that I've done, it's like old artwork, even it's like a lesser form of myself.
Yeah.
It's like I wasn't me yet. And it's, something I'll probably still think, in 30 years looking back at, this shit. It's like, it was a stepping stone kind of a thing, or, something that got me to this place.
Yeah.
It's a weird way to look at life, is living for the future, but
that's all there is.
If you like, I guess it's not really living for the future. It's still living in the now. Like, this is me now. This is me. What I was is still part of me, but it was less of me.
Yeah. Straight evolving Charizard
style.
Yeah. But I know what you mean. Like, my Liquid Diary, all that stuff. Like I know you like that one. Sarah really like a lot of people close to me really like that, or even like it a lot more than what I'm doing now.
Because it's so fucking brutal.
It is. And I still love it, but I don't like revisiting it or most of my old work because it feels so upsetting. Yeah. And in the same way, watching like myself like self-harm or do something super destructive like the drugs and stuff, it definitely is upsetting because I see how upset I was, but it also feels different now because like my brain still like feeds off of it. There's a little excitement, but it doesn't feel satisfying. It feels sad, opposed to like that's what I should be doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, like I do know what you mean.
You can feel the change kind of thing, and it's odd. It's just really fucking weird. I'm in a weird place, man. It's way better, but it's weird.
And that's part of why I love the culinary thing as much as I do. And I go back and forth on it because I feel like sometimes I get into a place where it's like I'm not learning anything anymore, or I'm learning something, but it's like I've learned so much of this that I'm comfortable with what I know, and I can teach. I'm teaching myself these things. So it's like, but what else can I do? What else can I, or how can I then utilize this knowledge, apply it somewhere else? And I think that's really what I'm getting out of this current job, is that I'm able to take so much knowledge from past experiences and give it to someone that doesn't have that, and is willing to actually listen to it. Yeah. Where I can say like, hey, I think if we did this, this would work really well. And it's like, oh yeah, like fuck yeah, let's give it a try. And shit like that it makes such a difference that, I don't have to be necessarily doing something, physically new. I'm having a new experience, at least from applying, old information in a new way, that it still feels like growth.
What you said about the self-teaching, it really reminded me of the Jiro style.
Oh yeah.
With his sushi, because if I remember correctly, part of it was like him and the Ukiyo-e, the white dude doing the prints, where like there weren't masters. Yeah, and they still could become masters themselves, but there wasn't someone to teach them. So it's like for a long time, you need help, you need people to teach you, and then at a certain point, if you want true self-mastery, you have to teach yourself.
You have to develop things on your own. Yeah. It's like learn from others. Absolutely.
Right.
But there's only so much that you can learn from other people. There's so much experience that you need. I mean, that's like college and, work experience. It's like you can go to college all you want, but until you actually do it for a while, you're not a master of it. That's what
right.
It would kill me I went to culinary school in Toronto after having both been to a different culinary school, like a technical school for a starting program, and then also having worked in the industry at a couple different places at that point. And so I'm getting, I'm with these kids in culinary school and they're like, talking about opening a restaurant when they get out and, being a chef. And it's like, yo, that ain't how that shit works. Like, you got to go stage somewhere for a while, or you got to go, get a job for a few years at least before you can start calling yourself shit. Number one. Number two, you need to, before you open anything, you need to experience what it's like to work in one of these. This school is not teaching you that. This school is teaching you, technical skills that you can use when you go to work at these places. And it makes you a valuable employee. When you can implement, someone says, hey, julienne these onions for me. And you're like, yes, chef. And you can just do it.
Yeah.
Can you julienne these for me? Somebody called Julian.
Julian.
And a little rocks glass full of drinks. I made 3 Trailer Park Boys references in this episode. I'm very happy about it. I want to go back and start watching that shit again. I haven't done that in a while.
Greasy.
Fucking greasy.
I totally think the moments when you can teach yourself are by far the most meaningful. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So the things that, whether it's by mistake or on purpose, that's, when you do something that sticks with yourself like that, that's huge.
Dude, the mistake aspect is huge in art.
Oh,
you make a happy mistake with a color, a weird stroke, a different technique, a accidental layer property, and you're like, oh shit, that's what I need to do now.
Hit the wrong keyboard shortcut, and it's like, oh, actually, that's kind of dope.
Yeah. Something I've told somebody that's close to me for a while now is that, and I feel like it's probably a platitude kind of thing, but I really believe everything we need is inside of ourselves. Like, learning from others, that doesn't mean it's still important, but I feel like all the things we ever will need in life, we have the answers to already inside of ourselves, and we just have to figure out what they are.
I can make sense of that too. I like that. I always like the idea that when you travel somewhere new, you find a piece of yourself there.
I hadn't heard anyone say that until you had, and that stuck with me a little bit too.
I definitely recommend, whether it's a school trip or it's just whatever excuse you can find to go, just across the state line or some other shit, like the fucking next town over that you never been to. Like, I've lived in this area of Michigan for, fucking 5 years, and I've never been to Grand Rapids. And it's like, that's not even a 4-hour drive.
Yeah.
Like, I could just do that. Hell, even just
park.
Literally just, I liked riding my bike for that reason. It's like, I get lost in neighborhoods that I never been in. And then I can, like, I'm really good with navigational shit, so I can memorize my shit and find my way home. And now I know that area.
Yeah.
But you've, learned things about yourself through processing what you're seeing with others, in a new environment or, a new setting. Especially if you can go international, that's huge. I highly recommend that to anybody.
And honestly, that's part of the reason I think I've been following a lot of the stuff in China, is because I really hate the idea of not being able to visit some of these beautiful places on Earth because of stupid political things.
Yeah.
That's such a bummer. I was driving home from somewhere the other day, and I just passed this random park that I pass all the time and don't really go to often or at all. And I thought not at all. And I just had a random memory of being there like 5 years ago and I was with an old friend, and we were just going on a walk, and like a thunderstorm rolled in, and we got stuck under one of those pavilions at a park for like 3.5 hours during one of the worst downpours, and lightning like struck very nearby, and it was like super intense, but we were just perfectly dry, chilling, and I just forgot about it altogether. And it was one of those things where it was like, I found a weird part of me when I went there, and I had even forgot about it, but I didn't know that was, it's not a thing. You gotta find those places or whatever.
Yeah. You saying that made me think of the pavilion at, was it Eden Park? Is that the one by the art museum there?
Yeah.
I'd skip school a few times to go up to the art museum.
The Mirror Lake or whatever.
Yeah. I'd sit up there for a little while until it would seem like a regular time for a kid to be out of school. And then I'd go in the art museum and I would draw.
Yeah.
I'd pick up one of the chairs and I would draw. And that was
Would you walk there? Or did you take a bus?
I drove.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's after I was able to drive.
I always forget because I drove so late.
Yeah, that was, I didn't do it all the time, but, especially if I had like boards coming up or something, I had to get some shit together for that.
You just set up sketch at the art museum.
Yeah, and it would mostly just end up being doodles and shit in a sketchbook, but it was, it was me time.
Yeah.
That was some introvert shit that I had to do for myself, and it fucking was way better than going to school that day. I don't regret that shit at all. And
you probably learned equal as much, if not more, in different realms of yourself.
At that point, probably more.
Yeah. Because
I was not in the mindset of learning shit at school.
Yeah. Now, I will say I really love that art museum, Cincinnati Art Museum, but I don't think most of the art is particularly good at all. I think they have some cool stuff. Most of it's nonsense or just old dumb shit. But even there's always cool stuff in any art museum, no matter how shitty, how high the shit percentage is. There's always something. Like I've never left a museum and felt like I wasted time.
Right. Yeah. Agreed.
There's always something you can find.
Even if it's one fucking thing.
Yeah.
You had an experience because of that thing. Yeah, I agree. I've also never had that. Never walked away from a museum. I mean, I was going to say feeling underwhelmed. I felt underwhelmed before.
Yeah.
But I still got something out of it.
Yeah.
It's like part of that's also your expectations going in from other museums and shit. So,
and learning what you hate is still very valuable too. Whether it's an alt-right Nazi form, a shitty art museum, just a bad experience somewhere. Like learning what you disagree with, why you don't like it, the things that all that shit fucking matters a lot too.
So I'd say you're a better person than me because like the alt-right shit, especially the Nazi shit, dude. I can't even read that shit for that long, let alone try to play along and go undercover with it. I can't. I do try to read as many sides of things as I possibly can. But sometimes it makes me so angry, especially with journalism shit, because I understand English in the way that they word things, and it's not that they're saying something that's wrong. They're just saying it in a context that makes it seem like it's something it's not. Mm-hmm. And like that, and that's on both sides, but that makes me mad.
I especially enjoy the debates. Like, I was listening to a guy, because most of the people, right, with viewpoints of hatred, right, most of them are often not intelligent, mm-hmm. but the ones who are most vocal often are very, right, not always, but often, and And sometimes there's super convincing, charismatic, and intelligent people that really know how to make a convincing argument, even if all the information's bullshit, right?
Yeah.
I find that incredibly fascinating. And
you're talking about lawyers.
Basically, I was listening to a guy debate eugenics with the point of view that all humans engage in eugenics just out of fact of existing. And he was using that as like we all alter the gene pool through living. And that was his fundamental building block on a debate to explain why his point of hate was valid.
Mm-hmm.
And this dude was like a science award guy. Like he had all these credentials, worked at Harvard at one point, incredibly intelligent. And his argument was surprisingly well crafted. And to listen to someone have to like having a Trumper family member, like that kind of shit. You're at Thanksgiving and they give some bullshit and it's easy to act explosively, but to be able to know how to calmly, like rationally pick apart their bullshit is fascinating to me. And it's something I wish I could do a lot better. Like working on this podcast is a form of improving her speech, but I want to be better at understanding viewpoints I disagree with so I know how to disagree with them efficiently.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I'm on the same.
Because I'm not good at
same,
it. But
same.
I'm trying to be.
It's like I feel like I want to. I feel like I naturally have a response of like wanting to understand all sides to a problem before I make a decision. I don't like to act rashly or make decisions, like that. But there are definitely some times where it's hard to get past certain points with people when it's like based on a base level of something that I know that you think, or I know that you agree with. I can't get past that to take your argument valid, because I know it's like when you hear that someone doesn't believe in evolution,
right?
It's like saying you don't believe in tectonic plates. It's like you can't hire someone to be a geologist that doesn't understand, that doesn't believe in tectonic plates. It's like if you don't believe in certain things, it's like because of whatever, or you don't understand that it's a valid theory for these reasons, then I don't know how I can trust your intellect anywhere else. I can't trust your judgment anywhere else, kind of thing.
I fully agree. And I feel very similar. And but I think for better or worse, that's a very emotional response.
Yeah.
And I feel like one of my strengths is often how either in touch or just generally emotional I can be, as is like a strong suit in art or some forms of communication, different aspects of life, whatever, relationships. But I would like to be able to, or I guess I just really admire people who in the war of ideas can react so passionless so they're able to better fight against the thought. I just find it interesting because I agree. If I hear someone say they don't believe abortion is ever acceptable because of their faith, I want to murder.
Yeah,
I can't handle it.
The because of my faith thing is that's inexcusable. That ends any conversation. I mean, I shouldn't say it ends any conversation. It stops being a legitimate conversation.
Now here's an interesting thing. So if someone was challenged, because I feel the exact same way. If somebody was challenging us, they would say, then you're obviously not that of an open-minded person.
Right.
Because you can't.
Yeah.
And to that point, I don't think I'm open-minded at all.
I think that I am to the point of I'm open-minded to logical concepts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you start to talk about fantasy shit, that's fine in that context. But when you start coming up with falsehoods or having things, and then yeah, maybe I am closed-minded in that way.
When your fantasy starts affecting my reality,
yeah,
I don't feel very
it starts affecting everyone's reality.
Yeah,
not just mine, but yours too. You know, that's when, yeah, I become a little closed-minded then, and it's one thing, I guess, to have faith in a you know, like, well, this is the way the world was made. And this is the story I like. This is the, you know, the having things that you think about, reasons for life and stuff like that. That's one thing. But when it starts to slow down the progression of the rest of us because of a moral compass that you've instilled
right
upon the rest of us, then that's because of, you know, a holy book or whatever, or some shit that happened years ago. That's not cool. Like, even like, as far as I'm concerned, the fucking, you know, Constitution and shit. There's so much of that it's not that it's wrong. It just needs to be looked at. It's everything. So much has changed since then.
Yeah.
That you can't just point at it and go, but this is the right way. It's like, that was 300 years ago, dog.
Right.
So the amount of population change that's happened in the last 100 years alone is so far different than is so far expansive compared to what happened in the 600 years prior to that.
Right.
So there's so much that needs to be looked at from a different perspective.
I was watching something. I don't even remember what it was, but it was a controversial point of view, and I heard somebody in the comments was like, "Hey, don't worry about those people that disagree, and their disagreement was something very illogical. Let's say it was like a faith thing. Don't worry about those people who disagree with that because of their bullshit reasons. It's okay because they're just slowing us down, but we're still going to get there. Change is still happening, progression." And I thought that is interesting, but my reply back was, when we move too slow, we die.
Yeah.
And I think I feel strong in that way. If the more stagnant and less, like, things have to change. The people that slow things down is where, like, the decay sets in. Everything rusts.
Yeah. Sandbags. It's sandbags on your feet when you're trying not to drown.
Right.
When you're trying to get somewhere so that you can finally rest as a species.
Too much dead
and
weight.
Not fight each other and die for no reason.
Yeah.
Because my God doesn't look like your God, even though it's the same God. Because
my God's way shinier than yours.
My God sent this message, and you say that he didn't send that message, and I'm saying you're wrong. Because it was written down by some asshole.
Right.
So I know it's true.
Yeah, I don't believe in dinosaurs, but the Bible is word for word what God says. Now,
we put them there to test our faith, Stephen.
The dinosaurs won. I would much rather be closed-minded and empathetic than open-minded.
Yeah. Yeah, if that's what I have to choose from, I'd rather care about people's thoughts and feelings on a logical level than say I was open-minded and good to open to every idea. No, I'm not open to every idea, because not every idea is correct or valid.
Yeah, that's like hippie shit.
It's like it might be a fun thing to think about from like an artist, from a, like I said, like a fantastical perspective.
Some magical Mr. Mistopheles bullshit.
Right? You can write a D&D campaign about it or something, but don't come at me acting like it's real, saying it's real because, unless you have some fucking evidence that you want to talk about.
Yeah.
Have you, and like I said, it's one thing, I say it all the time about shit that, like, I think this is a cool theory. I think it's a cool idea. It's not that I think it's, I'm not saying it's fact.
Right. It's fun. The thought experiment is different than belief.
Yeah. If you came up to me and was like, I like the Bible because I think it's a cool ass story and I think it'd be cool if it was real.
Shit is wicked.
Yeah. And it's like, yo, okay, cool. I can't even really argue with you about that.
It's one of the most evil books I've ever read. Hands down, man. We split babies in half, dashing them on the rocks, killing everything, flooding the world. Shit.
I'm going to read more Norse mythology.
I don't like mythology of any kind.
I've only read a little bit of Norse mythology, but it's pretty brutal.
I know it's brutal, but it's so cheesy.
I mean, yeah. But you got, okay, well, I like it.
I like
cool. A lot of the, I read a lot of Greek mythology shit when I was younger. I was really into Greek mythology.
The stories are cool. I just don't like, maybe it's just all the names. It feels unrelatable.
There's a lot of that. It's hard to keep track of shit.
And it just feels, I don't know, too fantastical because of, I don't know, just how different it feels. I always like the stories themselves, though. Yeah.
I always like the idea of Greek mythology because for the most part, like, the gods weren't good or bad. They just were, and they had their own reasons for thinking certain ways or acting different ways, except Zeus, and Zeus was just an asshole. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much where he was just a piece of shit. I mean, and that's fun. It's just if you look at it like it is, and it's just a book of stories, and it's many, many books of stories, then it's funny. It's character development in a weird way.
Yeah, I always liked Icarus.
Oh yeah, the Icarus one's good.
Yeah.
I like the story of Achilles.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorites growing up because I never understood. I found it by looking up what Achilles' heel meant.
Right.
And then I stumbled upon that. I was like, oh, this is way cooler than I thought it was.
I love when you find those weird meanings from the etymology of a word.
Oh, yeah.
It's always fun.
To find out the roots of like where it came from and where it stems from, and completely blows away. Like, oh, that's so wild that whoever decided that was going to be the thing got it from that. But okay, cool.
Right. I had something I was trying to remember in that broken brain. Is
it something about mythology?
It was mythology adjacent. I did always love in the new Mad Max the To Valhalla and Chrome. I like that a lot.
I never watched that.
Oh shit, dude. You'd really like it. Right. Dude, it's outstanding. It is outstanding. You would love it.
It's like Fast and Furious on bath salts.
Way more. You'll love it. That is a great description, honestly.
I've never seen either one of the Mad Maxes, so I don't know.
The old ones.
That's what I get from the trailers.
The old ones are fun, but they're stupid. The original book's great, but the new movie's just fucking brutal. That's fun.
All right, cool.
Makes me want to drive a car fast and do meth.
Now that being said, I have decided that I'm going to watch all the Fast and Furious movies.
Oh my God.
I haven't seen any of them.
Honestly, I have a special connection to them.
All right.
Because, all right, so.
Which is your favorite?
I don't know. I don't.
Is that like asking you to pick a favorite child?
I love them all the same.
Okay, that's cool.
They're all my
honestly,
babies.
I'm not sure. I wasn't expecting that at all from you. I thought you were going to rag on me for it.
Oh no, I hate them. All right, it's one of those things. So it's one of those. It's one of those Tony things. So like System of a Down, I would have liked System anyway, but System of a Down, Combi Christ, Fast and Furious. What is the other one with the Highlander character?
The Highlander.
Is it? I can't remember.
Yeah.
That
There can be only one.
Yeah, any other Vin Diesel movie, whatever the fuck his name is, I have to watch it because, like, Tony was a real life Vin Diesel character wannabe. He looked like a teenage Vin Diesel, and he wanted to be him. He wore all black, tank tops, shaved head, and was obsessed with all of his movies. I have to watch it.
You know what's funny is actually, I realized until this moment, I've never seen a picture of Tony before.
I'll show you.
In my head, what I pictured, and I just realized why I pictured this. You know, another white kid, brown hair, you know, wore fucking goofy goth kid in the suburb clothes.
Yeah.
And you know why I thought that is because the only other friend that I know from you is Sam. And I basically just pictured him like a Sam with a different face.
A goth Sam.
Goth Sam with a different face, yeah.
Because Sam's not very goth at all. He's going to laugh when he hears this. Sam never quite went goth.
In the few times where I've actually got to hang out with Sam, I feel like his attitude is goth.
Dude, he's one of
very chill, and he's just like, I don't know. He just seems, he's like super easy to get along with.
He's one of those ultra goth non-goths.
Ultra goth non-goth.
I heard somebody say that recently. Like the most goth people I've ever met aren't goth at all.
I dig that.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, I don't know why I mean, I guess I know why I had that in my head. I mean, you know, not even talking shit, the Chronicles of Riddick movies are good.
That was his favorite movie ever. I couldn't remember.
Chronicles of Riddick. I fucking love that shit. Pitch Black. Oh.
That's his favorite. Well, it's Tony's favorite. Yeah, so I rewatch those every now and again. I don't enjoy them at all.
Oh, I do. I like those fucking movies.
They're fine. They're cheesy. They're fun.
Yeah, of course they are. I like that, though.
That said, I would absolutely love to watch The Fast and Furious with you. That
all right, I'm down.
Have you seen? Oh my god!
Let's watch and we'll record it, and then 5 years from now,
god damn it,
10 years from now, when we actually start making money on this, we can put it on Patreon.
Have you seen? I forget his name. He has a big podcast on YouTube. His name's something Chad.
PewDiePie.
No, it's just a Chad something. But him and his friends reshot all of Fast and Furious 1 just on their cell phones, playing all of the parts. And it is one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen.
No, I haven't seen that. Sounds funny, though.
I'll find a link for you after this. It's on the same level of humor as R. Kelly's Trapped in the Closet.
I still haven't watched that either. You told me I need to watch it. I still haven't watched it.
Dude, he does 4-minute songs about a midget fucking his wife. Dude, it's a 33-part opera. Each song is like 4 minutes, and it's like a drama. The pastor has sex with his wife. Everybody's gay. There's a midget. And it's insane. I don't know how it's not bigger than it is.
I can't believe people were shocked when they found out that R. Kelly had problems.
Oh, it was so obvious for some. Same with Michael Jackson. It was just all excuse behavior. That's what I was trying to remember earlier. So
Vin Diesel has excused behavior.
We let Vin Diesel become Vin Diesel. We never should have let it happen. No, you hear people all the time say the answer to like political or social problems is we need to be more tolerant, more accepting, right?
Mm-hmm.
I disagree. We need more intolerance. Not of people's choices. We need more tolerance in like social ways, but political ways, we need far less tolerance.
So here's where I want to say this in this way, and I think this is what you mean, but I'm not 100% sure. I think tolerance should go to things that people don't have control over.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes.
So things that like, your sexual orientation, the color of your skin,
Maybe just who a person is in general, because even things like body modification or things we choose to do, like sex changes, whatever, like tolerance to who a person is.
Well, you could still say sex changes, when you get that change, it's because, that's who you are. You go by a different, gender than the one you're born with, because that's what you identify with. That's who you are.
I agree. Part of that still is
something that they're born with. You can say that they're making the choice to live that way, but if that's the way that they are in their head, then it's less of a choice.
I feel like what I said may have came off different than I intended. Making the change is a choice, just because you literally have to go through a physical transformation. That's all I meant.
Yeah,
but
that's fair.
So maybe the rule should be like tolerance for people, intolerance for ideas.
Yeah, I can work with that.
Yeah,
I can work with that, absolutely.
To that rule, even the Capitol riot is an example of people being intolerant, right?
Yeah.
And obviously I disagree with what they did, but I also think like living your beliefs, as stupid as those beliefs were, like if that didn't happen, we may have had less reason to get rid of Trump. We would have had, you know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm not explaining it well, but like more for tolerance to ideas we disagree with, like not accepting our political people, these people controlling our lives to allow to fuck us over, I think is important.
Well, I mean, he's going to be he's going to be reinstated in August apparently. So,
oh god, I know, I saw that. Yeah, there's a lot going on with that. He legitimately, if he lives long enough, he's going to be up for next election.
Yeah,
or if he's not in prison.
You see the thing where they were like, "Oh, you'll see, he's always been the president. He's been president all along," and it's like all this, all this shit that's going on that Biden's doing, and it's like, well, if he's been the president all along, then Biden isn't doing anything. He's doing it. And they're like, oh. Unless he wasn't the president all along.
Did you see they were looking?
He was voted out. And they're like,
oh.
they made it stupider than it should have been, but it was still funny.
They thought so many voting ballots were fake and from China that they were microscopically testing them for bamboo fiber. Yeah. What in the
seen that shit?
And then there's Italy Gate. They believe. Yeah. Dude, it's like 20% of the country believes this shit though.
Yeah.
Like it's a real problem.
As far as I'm concerned, if there is evidence that supports the idea that the election was fraudulent and on a scale that would change the outcome or change the effect, absolutely research into it. I want that information. If true, that's big.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm down for that, but it comes to a point where like you don't need to count the votes this many times. You don't need to recount the same situation, 3 times. Also, why is there so much investigation going on into this and not about the events that that led to an insurrection of the, Capitol building? It's like, that's the shit doesn't line up. It's like you're willing to invest the time and energy into this, even though we've already invested so much time and energy into this, but not into this. Right. It's like there's too much that's telling about that. I don't want to get conspiracy theorists on you, Stephen, but it sounds like a cover-up. What we in the business like to call a cover-up.
In the biz, it's illegal cover up, though. It's not even a cover up. It's just corruption, right?
Well, yeah. It's like, don't look over here, though. Yeah, that happened, but don't worry about it.
So up next, are we going to do our 20-part series on why this country's...
Boy,
I don't know
it's
if
coming.
I can keep it to one part, bro.
I mean, we definitely can't. That's going to be a lot of research on that. I think it's something we're going to have to build up in the background while we do other shit.
I think that would probably be smart, but I also think we could do it as more of a philosophy episode where it's very, very general. I feel like we don't need research. It's more of a feeling argument because
that's true too. I feel like I wanna be able to come not just with like this sucks. I want to come with this sucks and this is why, and this is how it should be instead. Yeah, and it's hard to just say that without going like, okay, well, it should be like this instead, and this is all the ramifications of that.
Yeah, that'll be interesting whenever we finally get to it. I think it'll take some work, but I think that would be fun. It sucks, man. Like, I always feel the most conflicted with it when people I know, like, have fought for this country, or like, adults in my life whom I respect a lot, and it feels like what they fought for, or their intentions of what they fought for, are so different than what people are tricked into today.
Yeah.
Or that still seems cynical, but I feel that way.
There's somebody on Instagram. I'm trying to remember what their page was. Something about the Jolly Ginger or something like that. Mm-hmm. It's a kind of just a bigger dude with a beard. I guess he was.
You showed me him.
Yeah. No, a different guy, I think.
Okay.
Not the redneck one. Different one. I might have sent something to you. But there was a thing he just posted about, and it was a pride thing. And it was Jesus, what was it? It's something about he was a vet, and his whole thing was like, like the reason, like the thing that makes him happy about what he did as a vet was that he was fighting for people's human rights. So to say, to try to use anything about the military to stomp on other people's human rights, which they do with advertising and talking shit and whatever, but he's like, that's the kind of thing that makes him mad. It's like he does that so that people can be comfortable in their country, back home in the country, and they can have their civil rights. And that's to say anything about that against it. You can't use, the military as an image for hate like that. That's not what the military is supposed to stand for.
Yeah. And kind of on the same line as that, I never think it's the individual person's, not never, but as a general thing, I don't think any soldier I've ever met has been an outstanding person. And they were doing what they felt was right, and they may have done a lot of good stuff. It's more the collective of it.
Yeah, there's gonna be shit in every bucket. Or,
all these poop buckets.
There's going to be something in there that taints the rest of it, and in a certain way. It's just to what degree and how much. And
so when are we going to buy a garbage dump and live there and build our podcast empire?
Let's work out something with Rumpke, and we'll set up base. Is it still Rumpke in Cincinnati?
Oh yeah,
it's gotta be.
So bad.
They have the Empire,
dude. The
trash Empire,
dude. It's so huge, miles and miles. All of Coleraine when the wind blows, dude. It's a real thing. The houses are way cheaper within a 5-mile radius. It's wild. They
You
get
know, you
used
just gotta
to
invest in, all that money that you're saving. You're invested in some Febreze.
some carbon filters through every window and shit.
Yeah.
Jesus. there was a story of I think it started just a couple guys that they built their own island in international waters and tried to live that way for a while. It was like a weird social experiment.
That's lost, right?
Yeah. Well,
To a degree.
Lost.
I mean, they didn't have polar bears, but
do you have a final theory on Lost? I know we're like a decade behind, but
I mean, I've seen it all.
right.
So what do you mean?
Well, there are a bunch of theories at the time.
I didn't dislike the ending as much as everyone. I feel like also I watched it after knowing that like everyone hates the end, so I had it built up in my head about how much it's gonna suck. But it's like,
I forget what happened.
do you want me to do Lost spoilers?
Just give me the final wrap up.
Everyone's dead.
Yeah, is it they're in a purgatory though?
Yeah, it's like, but it was unclear to me like how long they were. There's like time shifts
Right.
back and forth, and I feel like it started then, and it wasn't for everyone. Like when they get off, quote unquote, get off the island is when they're.
Now, do you like movies that do that, like the cliffhanger or open interpretation?
It depends. I've seen it done
Same.
in a lot of ways that I really enjoy. I like something that's open to some interpretation, but I do want it to have some meaning.
Final
Yeah.
conclusion.
It's like
Yeah.
I liked the end of Shutter Island because
That's a great one.
there's the, is it better to live as a monster or die as a innocent man or whatever. The quote was something along that line, and it was like, there was, at the time I watched it, I got the wrong conclusion. I was younger and I watched it when it came out, and it was like, I was under the impression that he was right, and I realized that he's not, that he did do the things that they said he did, but it could still be looked at in the way that was framed was like, I don't know. I felt like it was still open enough that it was like make you question it a little bit.
Dude, that's a great moment though, when you re-experience something you've experienced before and your understanding of it changes, right? So like the second time you saw Shutter Island 3 years apart, it's a weird milestone of your mental changes.
Yeah. Well,
That
I
is
think
so
it was
cool.
also like 3 days later, but yes, also that.
Changed a lot in those 3 days. I'm maturing.
I did recently watch Don't Be a Menace in South Central when drinking your juice in the hood, and I didn't have that many mental changes from that.
Honestly, I think that's one of those ones I would enjoy a lot less.
Oh man,
As much as I love it, I don't think I can enjoy it the same way.
I'm
an adult now.
Yeah, I might argue that might be a little true, but there's still like it's probably more of the most quoted movies that I reference.
Yeah,
Which it's not like I do it all the time, but like just fucking, I got these cheeseburgers, man. Like that shit. Take me to jail. Throw away the key. I ain't afraid to fuck a man.
You're talking about. Like any high school kid would be like, "What the fuck is that?"
I used to go to my bussers at work and be like, "Hey man, you ever been in the shower with another man? The suds run down the crack of his ass?"
They quit the next day.
And they're just like, "What the fuck you talking about?" It's like, man, I'm just playing, dog. That's jokes, man.
Oh my god, dude! I haven't done it in a while. I think I'm overdue. I used to reread "Thus Spoke Zarathustra" every like 3 years, and it was almost on a 3-year rotation. And I've got 3 readings in, and I need to do my 4th. And for the first 3 cycles, I would write in the book the entire time. And it's like covered. And I want to, at this point, I want to start with a fresh copy. See what's changed in my mind. Because the whole thing is just open to interpretation. And that's what I enjoyed so much. Same with the fucking Bible. I haven't reread the Bible in a while.
I don't think I've never actually cover to cover with the Bible.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
Parts of it are so good though.
Yeah.
It's just, there's just whole chunks of very boring material. It's like Lord of the Rings. You know the sections of Lord of the Rings where they do like a poetry lore?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like 5 pages of elvish song from the old days. There are just like Psalms in the Bible. It'll be like 20 pages of like incomprehensible nonsense. You're like, get back to the killing of children.
Might as well be the book of the law.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. I used to read all that shit so much. Now I couldn't make it through those now. No fucking way. No way.
Just don't have the patience for it.
Not at all. Not at all.
Some of the stories are cool, but boy howdy.
And all of Crowley was all sex magic. And
Crowley's just fucking bonkers shit.
I know. I like a lot of
a literal madman.
Yeah. He's one of those people as like a concept is so brilliant and fun, magical, but in reality, it's just total scumbag.
He's a unicorn. It's like it's fun to know that he existed,
right?
But you can't really celebrate him. What?
Good, he's gone.
Yeah, good, he's gone. Yeah. The world's better off without him, but
people do that with all like the glorification of shit. Like even your best hero is still a piece of shit.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, say what you're saying.
Like even like serial killers and shit. That's one of those. It's like I'm all cool with like talking about serial killers and like, you know, getting into the psychological part of it, but like I'm not gonna be one of them motherfuckers that like go visit some and like tries to like learn their story and shit in jail and like tries to defend them and shit. It's like that's weird. Like
I was that person for a long time, and I can't. I had to take a big step. I still love and am very very often learning more about them.
Yeah, there's a wall that you can't breach though, where it's like, your brain's not supposed to know how theirs works. Your brain's not supposed to comprehend exactly the inner workings of what's going on in there. There's you know, subtle things that are broken to a degree, or that they see things to a certain degree that you're just not gonna. And that's maybe not always true.
But just like we were saying how everything we need could be inside of us, I feel like every version of ourselves, just like the infinite galaxy, right? There's an infinite amount of other versions just similar to ourselves. All the realms of the possible versions of ourselves exist inside of us, and with enough empathy, we could feel all of those different versions of ourselves. I sincerely think I was not that far off from just murdering people, like as a teenager. I don't think I was that far away, and I just find it so interesting. I think a lot of the people that are that into that stuff are rather rightly or wrongly feel that like spiritual attachment to the person. And that's why it feels so fascinating, because you're learning about those aspects of your own mind.
Yeah, I can see that.
Which can be good as long as it's not an over glorification.
I mean, I want to counter. I want to counter with a thing. And not saying that you're not right with that statement, but I feel like also there are people that feel spiritual connections to people they've never met, or people that like celebrities is a thing. Look at your boy oh, what the fuck was his name? The workout dude. Fat fucking Lenny.
Fat fucking Lenny.
With the one actress or whatever that he felt a spiritual connection with that he never met before. Or, you know, people do that with like pop stars and shit. They get like so into it and it's like they feel like there's a real connection between them. And it's like, yo, they're just a content creator.
Yeah, clearly that's an unhealthy level of it. Yeah. Yeah, for whatever reason, it's almost more acceptable for serial killers. Or it's like, you know, if a person does that with a celebrity, it's like, oh, that's fucking gross and weird. But if you do it with serial killers, it's almost like a fad or cool or whatever.
It's like it's one thing to be interested in understanding the psychology behind serial killers. It's another thing to try to emotionally connect with that.
Now that we've established that.
Yeah.
Which serial killer do you identify with?
What's your serial killer persona?
Yeah. What you got?
Boy. I mean, I always feel like, Gacy's my go-to. No, not Gacy. Sorry. Geen. Geen is my go-to.
He only got one kill.
I know, but he was an artist.
He was an artist. I don't know if he was a good one, but his heart was in it. And their heart.
Yeah. and their bones and their skin.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my natural reflexes to say Geen.
Well, I'm going to take the moral high ground here and say I don't relate to any of them.
Oh, yeah, thanks, Steven. Put me in that. I super know that's not true.
I know. That's funny. I heard, I gotta think. I'm most sympathetic to Dahmer because he was so mentally ill.
Yeah.
I think the mentally ill ones, the ones I can relate to a little less because they're so, like, actually fucked up. Like Dahmer compared to Bundy.
Or Bundy was just a dickhead.
Right.
Yeah.
Comparatively, obviously, there's a lot going on. Yeah. But comparatively, Dahmer was a lot less in control of what he did. And I find that more empathetic. Obviously, both garbage.
Right.
It's fun.
So you didn't answer the question.
I think I'm going with Dahmer.
Okay.
I have other favorites, but I just said I had favorites. It's not good.
That's not good. It's not good.
Son of a bitch.
I mean, me and Richard Ramirez have the same first name, so.
See, I really liked Ramirez until, now I understand it was the 70s, 80s, whatever, but he was the metalhead, satanic guy, right?
Yeah.
His music's AC/DC. That's jock rock. I can't do it.
That's jock rock.
That's jock rock, bro. I can't hit with AC/DC. There's no way I can love a satanic serial killer if their favorite music is AC/DC. Nope.
I mean, yeah, fair.
Won't do it.
There's somebody at the farmer's market where I work. He's one of the staff that works there and cleans up the place and gets it ready for the weekend or whatever. And I'm in there doing like prep work and shit. But while I'm there, he has like a radio playing music, and it's like through the radio station with commercials and the whole thing. Like who listens to the radio nowadays when you have your phone that has commercial free music for free? So
that said, it sucks on the internet more than ever right now.
I guess it's not free. I do pay for
there's nothing
a music service. I pay for Amazon for music.
And they still suck.
I mean, they don't have ads.
But it sucks.
I don't think so. I think it's a good service. Amazon Music?
Amazon's?
Yeah, the Amazon one doesn't suck. There's fucking everything's there.
I haven't gotten into Amazon.
It's a good service. You can make playlists. The app interface on the phone isn't the most friendly.
See, but I bet a lot of the stuff I like is not on there.
That's probably true. Anyways, he listens to the radio, and it's like so many of the things like I like some of the music done by some of these bands on the radio. But I've heard the same songs by these same artists on the radio my entire life.
Right.
And it's not like it's nothing new. It's all like classic rock shit. And I can't do it. I can't. I hate it so much. It's like, I don't mind some AC/DC every now and then, but I can't listen to Back in Black. I cannot listen to Highway to Hell. I cannot listen to even like Thunderstruck. Can't do it. it's the same fucking songs that they play all the time, and I just can't do it. Even like Leonard Skinner. There are a few Leonard Skinner songs I really like.
There's a couple.
You know, fucking, but it's because you're never going to hear the one. You're not going to hear Curtis Lowe. You're never going to hear that on the fucking radio. And whatever they do, I've never heard it on the radio.
I can't get through a single ACD song, though.
I mean, that's fair. I'm not saying AC/DC is amazing.
I get what you mean, though. Like, even like a Radiohead freak or whatever, like songs that I do like, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it over and over on the radio.
Yeah.
No fucking way.
I'll
ruin it.
The fucking, anyways, that came up, and I don't know what exactly led it to me, but like Sweet Home Alabama was the song I was thinking of. And it's like, it makes me want to murder someone when I hear that song now. And
makes me want to firebomb the whole state of Alabama.
Even worse is the Kid Rock song where he used the tune of Sweet Home Alabama as the thing, and it was a social success, and they play it on rock stations and country stations and shit. But there's an event that I went for work today, and it was like a big kind of employee party for this gigantic corporation, and thousands of people there. And we're in the food truck and we're jamming. But they have a DJ, and the DJ was like right outside of our fucking truck and playing. So much of the music fucking sucked. And a lot of it was like newer shit, or like, that he put remixes on or whatever. And some of it was like, like 2000s, like hip hop jams, like that's playing old Outcast shit. Like, I fuck with it, that's cool. But then it would go from that into like some trash,
right? And
then but one of the songs he finished on was that fucking Kid Rock song. And I wanted, like, I'm at the end of like this long shift where I've been like crushing it for hours, and it would have been better if it was that, because I haven't heard Ball with a Ball in fucking over 10 years.
I just got Rob Zombie and what is it?
What about Rob Zombie?
Oh, it made me think of the Rob Zombie sounds he makes. I can't remember what song.
But it's fucking like I realized in that moment, like, I openly would have gone over and like just unplugged his shit.
Just snip the cord.
I was so prepared to just like, hey, can we I'll give somebody free food if they'll go knock his shit over. Like, just like break his fucking equipment.
It's like in high school, in our art class, I cut the art teacher's projector cords. It took them months to figure out what happened.
Oh, goddamn.
Well, dude, I think this is a hell of a lead up for our music feature.
Yep. That's it. If you like Sweet Home Alabama, you can just throw... you can throw your computer in the trash.
Right. Well, there's so much bad music. It's important to support the independent musicians who are trying to come up. Is there anything else you want to cover before we roll on out of here?
No, I'm good. I should probably close my mouth for the rest of the night. I've talked enough trash today.
Yeah, we got pretty wild. This is fun, man.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Oh yeah. Any dishonors or advice?
Don't listen to the radio.
Yeah. Throw away your television, break the radio.
Yeah. Thanks again for listening. Thank you to Approaching Music. Thank you to Approaching Human for the use of his music. You can find his work on SoundCloud at Approaching-Human.
Thank you, John.
Make sure to check out the show page at Trash Cats Trashcast on Instagram for news and art from the show. And also check out our Reddit at Trash Cats X Trashcast. There's nothing up there really, but we're probably going to be building that up as we go, and we'd love for you to be along for the ride.
Yeah, you don't sleep on it, because you could be the first follower.
Yeah. No, I'm the first one.
There we go. You can be number 2. We're also on Facebook. You'll find us. If you're bored, you can check out my trashy art on Instagram at Skyzix, SKYZICX. I'm about to put some new stuff up there. Tune in next. We haven't even figured this out yet. This will be fun. We're going to talk. We got some cool art stuff coming up next for our next episode. And that's going to be all for us today. Stay classy, eat trashy.
Go fast, eat trash.
And here, we're going to exit on the track Dirty Water by my homie, Brandon Isaac.
Come around here and let me have a look at you. My goodness, look at you. You turned out all right, didn't you? How do you feel? I know you're not sleeping. We'll get to that.
Yeah. Dirty water. Polluted mind. Alone and crowded. A chair on a mountain. My sky's red. My hands are green. Yellow palms. Dirty trees. Faded jerseys. Empty labs, found death on the table, next to his book bag. Dirty reflections and cracked mirrors. I'm ugly today, tomorrow I'm the picture. What you see, deep in those eyes. Take your time, the paint still wet from the bloodshot eyes. Slit the road to ego, I see death all the time. Fears a flop, that's $1 million fine. Dirty water, polluted mind. Pour the picture in your mind. Bright lights in the skyline, a starry night. Paint a picture of a gaze across the bridge, alone and crowded. My friends think I'm spacey, I'm just scenic routing. Watching demons pouting, thinking about the genius. Can't believe I found them. I wish niggas still had their own water fountains. We can't drink with everybody. We can't drink with everybody. We can't drink with everybody. We can't drink with everybody.